Auzubillahiminashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Uh, Dear students, I am Dr. Shesad, and for the long time we did not meet due to coronavirus COVID-19. Due to pandemic, the university is closed from the last 2.5 months. Today in this video we will discuss about our previous courses, what we had studied in our previous classes, and a short video of review of the previous classes would be explained over here. This topic is about agriculture development problem of Pakistan. Today we will again discuss about the role of agriculture in South Asia. But before explaining about this topic, I would like to tell you that if you people stay home, you will be safe. It is very important for us to take care of our health, because health is the priority, and health is the only uh, asset for us. To maintain our healthy life, then we can do and achieve our important achievements. But if we are not uh, giving some attentions towards our health, we cannot achieve our goals, or we cannot do anything in our life. So first is health, and health is wealth. Therefore take care of your health, and stay at your home, and focus on your studies. And if you will study more, you can gain more effort, more knowledge, and you would be able to understand what you can do in your future and in your life. So let's come towards the topic. The topic is role of agriculture in South Asia. I had discussed with you that agriculture plays a central role in South Asian countries, especially in the lives of their people and in livelihoods. Climate change will have significant effect on agriculture production in the region, and those involved in agriculture, including some of the poorest and most vulnerable communities on the planet. Climate change is also one of the main threats, as you know about it, and the South Asian countries has different characteristics. We will explain about it as well. For this reason alone, we must urgently consider the responses that our governments, our communities must take to maintain our agriculture system in the face of climate change. So climate change is one of the main threat for South Asian countries, and the countries and the government and their governments must take a strong decision for it in order to understand about the climate change. So then first and foremost, we will discuss about it is the essential that international community act with utmost urgency to reduce global emission and hence lessen the impact that will be seen. Beyond immediate action and emissions reduction globally, climate change policies must be developed at national, regional, and global level to address the serious near-term threats posed to crops, livestock, and fishery production. You know, students, that climate change has much impact over here in Pakistan as well, because the rainy seasons are disturbed. The hot and cold weather is also going to be changing. The months have different precipitations as well. When it was not the time of monsoon and other rainy seasons, it took place before the it were going to be uh, mm, uh, to conduct. So here in this subject we will discuss about the different things about South Asian economies, such as what are the main features of South Asian economies and how they are active in their agriculture production. We will also study about the 10 points which are based on especially uh, the land which in South Asian economies, South Asian countries, they are considering the land for the agriculture cultivation. One final element to be considered in the development of policy linking agriculture and climate change is how to address the greenhouse gas emission of the agriculture sector itself. Some forms of agriculture contribute significantly to global greenhouse gas emissions. So, greenhouse gas emission is also one of the main threat in climate change, and we will also focus on this subject about the greenhouse emission as well. So, here we will discuss about the agriculture role in South Asia. About 1.2 billion people worldwide living in a dollar a day in extreme poverty, and which over 43% are found in South Asia. Of these, the vast majority live in rural areas. As I told you before that South Asian countries has more importance towards agriculture rural development, because mostly about 80 more than 80% of the population in South Asia, they live in rural area. And the people who live in South Asian economies, they live with extreme poverty, are about half of the population in South Asia, they live with extreme poverty. Of these, vast majority live in rural areas as well, and they depend on agriculture practices. So we will also discuss about South Asia is still predominantly rural. Over 70% of its population live in rural areas, the majority of whom make their livelihood depending on natural resources, as I told you, and on agricultural land, fresh water, and coastal fisheries as well. If you go to Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, mostly people they depend on their livelihood as the fisheries and agricultural practices and livestock. Much of the agriculture in South Asia is rain-fed, so there is fundamental dependence on rains that come seasonally. Too much rain, too little, too soon, too late. The types of variability expected to increase as global temperature warm will have significant impact on the region because of this dependence. Much of the agriculture production in the region is undertaken by smallholders on a very small holdings by women, with a significant dependence on the fisheries for the protein in several countries, and dependence on uh, livestock for drought, power, manure, milk, and food security. In this lecture, we will discuss about 11 points in which we will study about the statistics that illustrate the essential characteristics of the region of agricultural system. The average size of holding in Bangladesh is, as I studied before and I taught it in my classes, that zero point 0.5 hectares is the average small farm size, which is around 96% uh, and of the operational land holdings in Bangladesh. And Bangladesh fish provides 60% of the national animal protein consumption, and the sector plays an important role in rural employment generation and provide alleviation. So, from these 2 points, we can understand that the agriculture practices are taken place in small sectors and small land holdings, and it is about zero point 0.5 hectares on average. So compared to, if you compare it to the North American countries, over there the average farm size is around 100 acre to 150 or 200 acres in North America. And in North America, mostly people they are engaged in large farms and they have much labor. But the small farm they can contribute in the agricultural practices or agricultural development of South Asian countries, and people they have significant role in these small farm sizes, if it is fisheries or if it is agriculture practices. The majority of India's poor 70% are found in rural areas. In Sri Lanka, the rural poor accounts of 95% of the country's poor, and 63% of the India land under cultivation is rain-fed. So mostly in India, as I told you that 70% of the population they live in rural area, and Sri Lanka it is 95% of the poor they live in rural area. Here in this point we discuss about the India's land under cultivation is in the rain-fed area, that is 63%, means that an agriculture practices around 63% of the population they focus on rain-fed areas as well. So in India about 81% of the holding are less than 2 hectares in the size, with an average size of 1.4 hectares. So again we can understand about it that 81% of the holdings are less than 2 hectares in size. Mostly people with 81% they have land holding less than 2 hectares, with average size of 1.4 hectares. In India again it is very small. The average size of holding in Sri Lanka is 0.8 hectares, which is also again very much small comparatively to North American, which is 100 to 200 hectares, and there are a lot of labor in it as well. The average size of the holding in Nepal is 0.8 hectares, with nearly half less than 0.5 hectares. 93% of the holding in the country are operated by small farmers. In Nepal, the sale of the livestock and livestock products is an important source for the cash income. In mountainous areas, 44.4% of the farm cash income comes from livestock, and 47.6% in the rural hills. So again, in Nepal, half of the population they are dependent on the livestock and its production, and they get much of their cash from livestock. The average size of Pakistani holding is 3.0 hectares. In Pakistan, actually, the land size is a bit higher than the India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and other such as Bangladesh and other countries in South Asia. So, 85% of the farms less than 2 hectares in size, however, less than half of the rural household on agricultural land. It means again that half of the household they have their own cultivation as well. In Pakistan, the livestock sector contributes around 49.1% to overall agriculture value added, and about 11.4% to national GDP in the economic terms. Women are responsible for much of labor of tending livestock. The average farm size in Bhutan is a little over 1 hectares. Women own 70% of the land. 86% of the farmers own livestock in Bhutan. About 10% of the country's population is dependent on yogurt production. In Afghanistan, 68% of the households own some kind of the livestock. For most Afghan farmers, animals are the only source for the uh, power for the cultivation and transport. As I told you before in my classes that farmers in South Asia are usually engaged in two type of practices when they go towards agriculture. They on one side uh, they are practicing in their field about agricultural production, and on the other side they have the livestock with them. In order to share their risk they use both of the uh, livestock and agriculture production. If some flood is coming in the area and the crop is destroyed, then the farmer goes toward livestock and they save their part of the destruction through livestock. But if you see the share of risk in livestock and agriculture practices is common all over in South Asia, and mostly in these countries they are practicing both for livestock and for agriculture practices. So women is also playing an important role, as can be seen from the statistic above. Women play a significant role in agriculture, including the production of high value crops such as vegetables, home gardens, cultivation, and the raising of the animals. For example, in India, the agriculture sector employs 4 to 5 of all economically active women in the country, and 48% of the self-employed farmers are women. And Sri Lanka, 41.4% of the women work in agriculture in Bhutan, and the figure is 62%. So we will discuss further about this topic in the next video, and we will explain thoroughly about it. Thank you so much for your understanding.